And a lot of it comes down to the Killjoy setup and a combined alongside the Astra. So that's always one thing that I'm interested to watch as to where they set up the overall Astra stars coming out of the defense, going into the third, fourth, and fifth rounds. We've seen them do the classic like toaster oven, which is the gravity well alongside the molly to try to stop that push, but usually one dash through from the jet, and that's shut down as we see the setup from both sides.
For sure. And I mean, I almost feel like it's pretty standard for this map, although I've seen a lot of teams tend to abandon it and just put like a little bit of like either a cipher trap or for this instance the Killjoy alarm bot and leave mid to its lonesome. But I like the way that Complexity wants to do this. They're gonna make some mid presence known, push their way through. Meanwhile, that spike is still over there, but it's first blood drawn by Ban on that Sage.
Wow, okay. Ban is a player that we've seen be a little bit back and forth in the previous map especially, but I like to see him stepping on up.
Here.
So right now there is the person all the way back, still just chilling it right through mid. Position over to catwalk, the wall goes down, jcrueL finds one, but after another, still just gonna be a trade. It's 4-3 Complexity, a person down. jcrueL might almost just die to the turret if he's not careful. The Eagleson finds one at the back. He's looking to peek in. There we go. The right click comes in true and free. This AGM left. Okay. With a nice little trade, but as he positions himself onto the site, he decided to just plant B, but he doesn't have any molly or turret set up either. And he'll go right into the good graces of Ban.
It's Complexity a little bit of a frazzle there. I like the initial thought of wanting to make some of their presence middle, but there definitely was a bit of a delay with how Sam honestly held that round so well by playing a Killjoy in B halls and having all of his utility slow down any attempt of a push from market. So, you have AGM having to deal with his doppelganger in B halls. Meanwhile, the rest of his team having those battles on short. It was trades back and forth, but in the end, it is the way that they held down that site to make sure that that spike stays in their control. And I'm saying that as Squirtle squad because that spike was left over on B site.
Immediate rotate out by Complexity though, but they managed to at least get one break down from the wall, so they could decide to push through. But they have to know that at least, Ban is set up right at the back, chilling near trees. So going back to B side will likely be the option, but the drone spots are wide and already resources rotating over to try to get them to respond. So Complexity go a little bit back and forth, deciding where exactly to commit and to commit back in onto the A side. Ban still chilling right, rotating on over right through spawn. As Jonas takes his position, flag comes out, so does the dart. As they're able to make their way in. Window drop 2, 3v2 as they'll trade 1-for-1, surprisingly. Ban manages to get us back, not dropped as of yet, but Governor shuts down ohai. As the push comes through, is peeking it through window. This is being cornered here, Sag.
Yeah,
but
they're
okay, the
being
shotgun doesn't kill him.
sandwiched.
Yeah, this
Harmful
is
already
gross.
here.
He drops it
There it
harmful. What?
I mean, so that was a good placement and movement on the side of Squirtle Squad. Harmful even making like the long trek from the back of A to flank pays out for him in huge dividends as he gets that triple kill with the ghost. They weren't even aware that he was there because they're like, we just came from there. They completely forgot about it, that yeah, someone could definitely flank you, and they did. Rest of Squirtle Squad kept them busy on that side, but now this is going to be the round. Complexity sitting pretty with their rifles in hand to the bonus that is Squirtle Squad. So
I mean, we'll see how they decide to respond. We know Squirtle Squad's likely saving up for the op, and Harmful, that's why he likely hasn't bought yet either. Show's chilling with that sheriff in his hand, because all the Killjoy and Astra setup is all on the A site. Complexity was looking to do a possible mid push through the trading shots back and forth, and Terror spots them out. As instead, they'll rotate themselves over onto B, drone spots one, and is stuck in a similar position as the last round here, Sag.
Here.
Yeah, Harmful already pings out that there are going to be some bodies here. They read his attempt of a push. They want to clear out that cubby. They're sending everything over. Alarm bot, wolf, or Tasmanian tiger devil, however you want to call it. But Harmful does not care. Will sit there, will get punished.
You should run.
Unfortunately, just locked up into the corner. They were able to spot him out, and there's a lockdown as well. So now immediately we see Governor has a couple of choices to make. He could chill all the way back inside the corner with almost no smokes to try to cover him. Or he could just try to go for these picks, and instead, he will choose death. And exactly what comes to him, 3 to 5, a spike goes down.
Spike planted.
I mean, that has to be a given at this point. If you're Squirtle Squad trying to figure out how to do this, you're looking for picks. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess it's Sam. He'll fall to that doppelganger. That's a triple kill. AGM looking pretty. Has to be happy so far right now with those kills. Lockdown was used to open up this site, so getting those kills to put a little bit of points back into that ultimate to hopefully bring it back again a couple rounds over. Not too bad, but Squirtle Squad, I don't even think they can upgrade their rifles here. So this is going to be a round loss for them and finally a point on the side of complexity. But the next round is going to be where it's pivotal, right? Now Squirtle Squad, they will have their guns. They will have their guns available. And they are on defense, which is normally the more favorable of the side for this map. Operator in the hands of Harmful. So this is going to be the true test here for the side of complexity. And they don't even have a lockdown because they used it for last round to secure that site, despite the fact that they had the gun advantage.
Yeah, no real ultimates up for either side as well, and no one's really just one tick away from it either. So the round will just come down to just how the util is used and pure gunplay, considering they're all just set up right near me and Harmful's nearby them. Shoots out the drone, so they know they have to smoke it out if they are to try to cross and move in onto A. Considering it's a little bit of a split position from both these teams, and he is flashed out, but a lot of focus being put into Harmful to make sure he can't do any harm, I should say.
Yep, they even get pinged out here. Complexity, Harmful, very much aware that yes, there were bodies in tiles, but they're gonna take that spike away. Meanwhile, HEM will make those noises, trying to keep them busy, I suppose, by making that noises at tiles. But some already setting up onto A. This a lot of killjoy utility that you're gonna have to push through, and they're gonna have to do it pretty soon. I've seen Complexity do this before. They like to run the timer down a bit. They're not gonna wait for 30. It'll be at the 40-second mark here as jcrueL dashes through, gets first blood.
Yeah, actually got the kill there as well. And that was usually what we're talking about before a set, but it doesn't matter much. Only gets one out of it. As well, it cleans up at the back, and there's a Harmful option we're looking for the Governor at his back. Judge, jury, and executioner is all that's being exerted in all levels of government. Governor gets 3K and just clean up. Looks like all they were missing were the guns.
That it was, I mean, that almost looked pretty for Complexity, but Squirtle Squad, it wasn't even the retakes. It's almost like Squirtle Squad, or no, sorry, Complexity felt a bit trapped as soon as that operator on Harmful was up at heaven. There was like, what, 3 of them sitting near generator trying to get that spike down. Like, how many Complexity players does it take to plant a spike? Apparently more than one, because all of that killjoy utility really delayed them, slowed them down, and threw them off, trying to clear that site. But no, it was all pop. They lost, jcrueL to it as well. But I mean, not I mean, it's an expensive round. They'll still have rifles to carry into this, but has to feel bad knowing that you lost that round when it should have been very pivotal for you, because this now round becomes a must win for them. Otherwise, they're gonna have to go into a save next round.
Look at Valyn here, though. He's just stuck in the corner, and ohai has to almost bail him out. Instead, the wall will do all the bailing for him instead. The spike is still a drop right outside. They haven't decided to commit to A yet. But look at all this pressure going over to the B side too. They're playing a little bit more split yet again, we saw last time. But unfortunately, that didn't end up going the way, because Squirtle Squad, they stuck as 5, right? They decided to group up as 1. They would respond to Complexity beautifully, while they were a little bit back and forth in the commitments.
Yeah. There's a lot of information being gathered by Squirtle Squad right now. like you have Sam holding down B and AGM is there making being a bit of a nuisance, but with Sam, or not, sorry, Sam, with what am I saying here? Harmful pushing down middle as well. There it is. Finds AGM. That's a good pick.
30 seconds left.
It doesn't matter. I guess A site is going to be the player as governor. They know that there's a lot of complexity players on A main. We'll get that pick. That's a big one for them as they try to get that spike down.
Yeah, that's huge. Just opt out as well. The heart is free, although did a fair amount of work. Doesn't necessarily mean that they can respond to what's going out. The previously harmful, with the option that he had before, was able to respond beautifully alongside Governor, but Ben instead will take up the mantle of doing all that work with one suck, all the way at the back of side. Brawk, he has the lineups, but he can't shut down 3 people. I've seen it before, but I refuse to see it being done again. As they're all just body blocking for him, gets the pick, but the defuse will be their Squirtle squad, reminiscent of game 1, 4-1 game 2.
Yeah, they are really strong on the retake, and now they'll even have lockdown to play with, for the next round. But complexity, their economy is in shambles here. They do have those 3 ultimates available to play with, but you're gonna want to wait, right? You're gonna want to wait to use that when you have like a Vandal or a Phantom in your hand, unless you can pick them off from the from the opposing team. Squirrel Squad does. Yeah, I was gonna say the Squirrel Squad does a really good job. They're playing the time, playing it slow, making complexity do all of the work here, do all of the heavy lifting, because yes, they're on the attacker side, and they should be.
Something a bit more commitment, yeah, definitely, like you were saying, would be a little bit more optimal, but Governor has the op, gets flashed out of smoked out too, but Saab looking to hold it down before he gets caught up on the back end as he dashes one after another, just keep it going for these picks, as Governor gets a second on the reload, barely not able to find it with the reset. As Brawk takes out his counterpart, it is just him left onto the site with the Sheriff up against 2. They wanted a solid round out of the save. Honestly, what more could you ask for? This is absolutely beautiful. Hunter's Fury in hand. If he's able to get this plant off, he could possibly defend it. Gravity will unfortunately do nothing as Ban cleans it up.
Yeah, I mean, economy for Squirrel Squad, not too damaged. They'll still be able to full buy, and they will have that lockdown and res to play with. But if you're complexity, that aggression and taking down a bunch of those kills, unfortunately couldn't get that spike down, but it's okay. That is exactly how you'd want to play it if you're saving. Just try to, be aggressive, push your way onto a site, get as much damage and kills as you can before you yourself are able to fall. But with that lockdown, you're not going to want to play on B side. So it's A is where they want to try and make some noise here right now.
I mean, noise they make, but it's only so much that noise can do in terms of just trying to stave people off. As the Echelon gets put down, so Jonah just sees a lot of the pressure coming in to get again out of the A site. Considering there's no real killjoy setup, it's all died in to be 2 people that can defend this site. With just 3, the band able to get one, gets a second off the back of that too. Bobbing, weaving in back between the walls as Jonah cleans up well, and an AGM left. He's just left all alone, did again to tell the tale. Although complexity tried, but they fall off flawless from Squirtle Squad, who just keep doing this again and again, Saj.
I gotta commend the whatever comms is happening right now with the Squirtle Squad. That was well executed on their part. That was a Cosmic Divide committed. Ban don't care. He's like, oh, you have, I want to say, who was it? Like, I think Jonah sitting in hell and getting like pulled and whatnot. But they're tag teaming that A site. From the comms that Jonah is going, Ban is just popping his head. Pop in, get a kill, pop back out. You can't see me, this is your wall. Pop back in, get a kill. And it has to be frustrating because that wall should be in favor of complexity. But instead, Squirrel Squad, they made full use of it.
As I believe we're in for another pause right now, likely complexity. Using that, I want to collect the thoughts a little bit. A very similar situation from what we had the previous round yet again. As Squirtle Squad are just running away with this one. A lot of ultimates already up for them. And so we were talking about this before as well. Like how just a lot of these rounds have just been coming down to just gunplay in between these two teams, and like especially with pop-off players, like if Harmful doesn't get the shots, then we still have Ban to rely on too. Som's been fantastic with the setups, and even Jonah too, one more often than not, can actually come for the flank. So every single member, like you were saying, has been showing up in a huge way.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this as far as what sort of adjustments Complexity can do in their gameplay. Mid has been pretty uncontested so far. Anytime they do try to make any sort of presence there, they're getting tagged, they're showing their bodies, but then not really even fully committing to it. It's something that I've seen Complexity done, either like a 3-2 or a 2-3 split from mid to B halls. I mean, Squirtle Squad, they're playing their utility pretty deep into sight. So it's not an impossible take. It just kind of comes down to like confidence in the calls, confidence in the play, confidence in pushing themselves or pushing all at the same time and allowing like those, the what do you call it, the raptor play coming into it from both sides that Complexity needs to pull off. But right now they're kind of just spreading themselves in, even on a safe round like this.
Hey, Saj, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think you could say Squirtle Squad 3 times fast?
No, I think I tried it already, actually. Squirtle Squad, Squirtle Squad. Wait, maybe I can. How fast are we saying? Hold on.
Like,
That was
at
2.
least
Okay.
2 times the speed.
Squirtle Squad, Squirtle Squad, Squirtle Squad.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yo. I'm impressed. All right.
There we go.
And just like that, we're into the round. Drone put out early for that little NA peak. Team AG doesn't want to get picked off this early on, and Complexity going back to the same sort of red that we've seen them before. They'll go for small peaks, try to gather what information that they can, and then they'll go to this like back and forth style of, all right, you see anything mid? No, I don't see nothing mid. A side, a little bit of something. Cool, what do we do? Let's just chill mid and see what happens. Oh, nice little bot shot on the band though.
Yeah, this is definitely what I've been kind of hoping Complexity would do, which is like some of that mid presence, have some control for Market and Pizza. They're pinging it out, but they don't want to commit because they don't know where all of this Killjoy utility is. Which, guess what? All that Som utility is sitting pretty in B.
Exactly, they're doing perfectly fine. Banco is in gravity. Well, and just like that, he just pulled back in between the good gracious of into the barrel of the Sage's gun, though. But for now, Jonah P set up. Okay. Traded 1 for 1 so far. Still coming out, go from Complexity. Armful with another, be able to smoke himself out, looking to reposition on the back of sight, but ohai catches him first. 2-2 between them as Seekers get put up for ohai, finding exactly where they're coming in from. And they know that they're both just chilling right up at the top. Near heaven. Dart put out. And there's the lockdown too. This could be a solid take. Hotsphere already set up down into hell to immediately put it out. They find one. They know exactly where he has to be. They got the lineup, and it's just that easy.
Again, the comms on the side of the Squirtle Squad there, lockdown committed. They didn't even care that Seekers were used to hunt them down. Pushing in together, knowing that, what am I saying here? Brawk is still stuck in the Hunter's Fury animation. I mean, honestly, ohai kind of looked scary. He had the Guardian. We've seen how nasty he can be with it. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Yeah, Complexity, they'll get that spike down. Just did not have enough time to set themselves up for a post-plant position. Instead, Squirtle Squad, they pushed them through, pushed them out, pushed them in, and take that round. They are running away with this. This is 7-1.
Running away indeed, but let's see how far their legs will carry them. Squirtles are quite chunky in terms of their leg size, so they can't get super far, but they're gonna try their damnedest, I'm sure. So far, similar B setup we've seen before. Complexity not going for the split style, but instead look at the Asher coming all the way at the back. Will rejoin the team. as the lockdown will be used for full committal on the B side. A lot of kills util is there. We're able to respond so they can at least slow down the push, but they cannot stop it. Smoke's put out and harmful smoke down too, so the B side should be there as alt already. And saw him in the middle of the switch, but gets detained, and he will die as 2 fall on the side of SS. So in a 3v3 retake between them. Okay, never mind.
God.
Make that 3v2. Harmful popping up. Where do you find the sightlines for that? Just peeking in through stairs. And with both flashes gone right now, ohai is stuck in a little bit of a precarious position. And with the rest on the back end, this round has to be all Squirtle squad. Peeking one, okay, suddenly Valyn gets the 2K. No response on the other end. That rush coming in, clutch, but no, he's just a bit off in the sidelines. Complexity, save it. Good doggy.
He had all of that information, but he ran into that little Tasmanian tiger dog. You know, I mean, loyal to the end, really helping ohai out there because position-wise, they knew where he was. That was a shock dart attempting to shut that down, attempting to push through. It was looking so promising for Complexity to start, and then they got picked off. They were falling one by one, and then suddenly, even with the res Squirrel Squad, it looked so promising for them. But if you're Complexity, that round, yeah, you won, you got another point on the board, but at what cost? Had a lockdown, had lost half your, not half, like 4 out of the 5 of your team. Very expensive round, and now you need to try and do that again without a lockdown to play with.
I firmly believe is that if that Trailblazer doesn't hit, Squirtle Squad wins.
Yeah.
Personally, that round. But like you're mentioning, a lot of investment coming out from the side of Complexity. Although they at least managed to get the round, they have to be able to sparse out and see what they're able to do going into the next couple rounds. For the setup so far, though, is the exact same thing we saw previously with Astra lurking all the way at the back near spawn.
I've got your
So you see, if you can possibly try to rotate out, and then if you go to Secrets come out, at least on the side of Complexity, they will find out where they are. Governor gets one, and the trade is nice for jcrueL. They look to move in. Halfa can't find the op shot. I mean, the sight is there, but look all the way at the back. Samba's just chilling all day. Util is doing wonders as he takes out his counterpart. So no kill Util means they lose a lot of control for the post plant. It's a 2v3. Beautiful pickoffs from Complexity, giving them a chance to at least put the spike down. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, that was a beautiful push. They just had each other's backs at that point, making sure that nobody is looking in the direction that has nobody there. Protect each other's backs. It is the buddy system that Complexity is doing here, and so far has paid out for them. And Squirrel Squad, they're gonna try and they need to do the same, but it's a little bit separate here. Instead, Ban dies first, and Jonah on his own, he will fall too. So again, nice round for Complexity. They'll even pick up a little bit of rifle upgrades here. Nice, Reaver skins.
Saj, you lied to me about the buddy system. You said they were moving one by one. I expect them to be having pinkies in hand like you do in kindergarten when you're line leader. Just walking up back and forth and swinging hands, but they split off and died, I'm saying.
I know. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like Complexity did the buddy system. Squirrel Squad did not. Because, they were sandwiched. Sam had them pinchered while, Market was well as compromised. So each one watching each other's backs, it's like a little bit of a standoff while they were trapped in the little alleyway, and it worked out for them because they had each other's backs, and Sam early to fall with that aggression. They are on a save, so this is pretty much expected, but Valyn wants to punish that push. Oh no.
This is where things get a lot of fun, because when teams know that considering it's a save, they're not able to do much. It's a 4-man push it out to B, though. Armful as well has the knives that could make a difference. Oh, it just slices his head right off, bro. That's the kind of acupuncture that can get a little bit dangerous. And we'll see if he wants anyone else wants to get a massage. Yes, they do. Finds all the pressure points onto brawk. As it makes it a 4v2, this save win could be huge for them as Complexity is left, and yep, they just get it. Wow, that was sick.
I love how they just all know that this, they don't have the guns to help them out. So yeah, let's push all together. Everybody and their mother pushing down A main. It was unfortunate that
Last
Valyn
round
wasn't
in
able
the
to get
half.
that pick, because that would have probably been very huge and slowed down the the aggression on the side of Squirtle Squad for that rotation to help the rest of the team out. But no, instead they managed to pick up a rifle, use that as to their advantage,
Right
and
here.
readjust. And now that is an Odin in the hands
Right
of
here.
Governor. On top of that, operator from Harmful. So their complexity, they're gonna have to push through this.
Get out of my way.
They gotta push through a lot more than just this round if they are to find a bit more hope for themselves. Squirtle Squad looking to get the run back of Icebox too, making it a 9-3. Like we saw before, the complexity decided to then also make the re-return as well. Made it a little bit closer. Harmful, unfortunately, a little bit off at the op shot.
Yeah.
But there's a great divide coming in from Astro with at least getting a lot more control onto the site and allowed them to get the plant down. Stuck on the backside, drone spots out one, and Harmful has his number, but oh! Valyn able to respond. Ohai gets the next, and they're all up on heaven, and they're falling like flies. Just Jonah left, and jcrueL will make it a flawless 8-4.
Switching sides.
That was really nice, and I almost wondered like why complexity couldn't be that aggressive in the rounds prior to push their way through. But that's the thing, right? It always has to be on the back of a big ultimate. And that has to be frustrating because now you have to wait for it online. You have to wait for the lockdown. You have to wait for the cosmic divide to make something happen because there's so much utility slowing them down. But hey, sides are switched, and complexity could do the same thing. Set up all of that utility. They do have that Astra to block any line of sight. Use gravity well, pull those players as they try to push through, slow that down, and all of that killjoy utility. Holding down B and mid even.
This is where complexity made the comeback I was about to say. You look previously, like you said, about the same sort of aggression is exactly what we want to see out there. Maybe not on the defense. Squad trades go Alpha, makes it a 4-3. Is it all the center right around mid? The AGM with that frenzy doing some work. As they push it down to 2-2, a shot from a turret could possibly take out AGM. See, it was a little bit back and forth. The B side is the focus, but Spike is not in their hands. Governor stuck on the back end. I don't think he's an inch in as complexity is centered around a market.
I like this movement. They've given up spike control, knowing that one AGM does not have a lot of HP to play with. And look at the wraparound that they're choosing to do instead. They're gonna run into him. Governor. Oh
no. That's pain. That's actually so much pain. This should be an easy spike plant as well, but yeah, Band's just ready for it. They don't even need the spike money either. It's alright, Saj, so correct me if I'm wrong here. Although the trades go back and forth, this is the complexity we kind of wanted to see, right? The same sort of aggression, they're flashing out to get to these picks, but then suddenly they just fall.
Yeah. And I'm a little surprised right now that I'm not seeing some sort of a force on the side of complexity here, given that they're down 4. But you can at least see it on the movement. That is 4 bodies postured on a site, and it's all up to AGM to hold down B, not even committing any of that utility. It's gonna be a reader, and I feel like Squirtle Squad, they get it. It's almost like they are living rent-free in the heads of complexity, not pushing, waiting for the aggression that they know complexity is known to do.
We said before that Squirtle Squad has read the book that is complexity. The playbook is in their hands. And they've just flipped through just chapters 2 and 3, but we'll see how far they can go in terms of getting at least a little bit in, enough to make an essay, hopefully.
Yeah, look at the movement on mid right now from Squirtle Squad. They've already cleared Market, they've cleared Pizza, and they're going to run into the lonesome body that is AGM, but he's not even on site. He's in spawn. It's just his utility so far. Oh, he's even. Yeah, it's not even online. He's off the radar. It's just his turret that is going to be up there.
Look at the market push that I was about to say. Yeah, Jonah gets caught up on the back end. So they get the flank off as well, but at least it's a night trade. One more person there. Barely doesn't manage to get the trade from them either. And still, this is 4v3 on the site. They know where the setup and they know where will be coming from. So B made a market already locked down, and jcrueL left out at the back end. Takes a couple pots on both the turret and the members of Squirtle squad. As Plant will now go down. Capacity stuck in a really tough position between everything that's going on between them. Shot dots put it out, just tags them just a little bit though. But this is such a tough take. Flash put out, able to find one. Som gets two, go right through market, and it's so easy for them, Sag. It's 10-4, and they're not looking to stop.
They are not, and this is gonna be Complexity with their buy round here. Needs to make something happen. Need to make maybe some changes or adjustments as to how they want to take this, but they've done a good job in the past doing retakes. So I kind of like the fact that yes, you put a lot of your utility here and try to get early information, hoping not to die. But we see though, look at that upgrade rifle on the side from Ban for Squirtle squad. They have a little hero rifle here. They want to make sure that even on the bonus, they can carry out this round and win it.
A little bit more of a forward push coming up for Squirtle squad, as well as they move a 3-man unit. Two have already made their way through trees. Getting a picker would be huge, but gets shut down for Complexity. Waiting a little bit with SS. Ought to try to put out, but still the two that are coming in through A main could be exactly what they need. One more pick would be huge to spot them out with the dart, and all that info is big. Just two members left here for Squirtle squad. They will at least get the plant off though, and get a little bit of that spike money. But all this control exerted over the site. Exactly what they'll need. Ban Forest off, and he'll just give it up. He doesn't want any of this smoke, and won't even try to play for the exits because he's up against way too much opposition. Run, Ban, run! You don't want all this.
He's the sole phantom carrier of the team, and I'm a little bit surprised he wants to contest this still. But hey, if you feeling it, you feeling it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, they have to be feeling it. Yep, brawk is definitely feeling it for sure. He gets the 3K by the end of the round. The Complexity, bring it back a little bit. Same sort of pattern we saw it onto Icebox as previously seen, but this dominant performance of Squirtle squad is one that I know I didn't expect, Saj.
Yes. This is definitely looking really good right now on the side of Squirtle squad, despite the fact that Complexity took that round. They had the rifle advantage. I mean, if anything, a lot of the number of Complexity players like having to like push through and play together the way that they did, but that's the strength of Complexity, right? They are really good in doing, as I say this though, it's harmful, cleaning up middle.
I feel like every time we make some point about a team or something they do, they turn around and do the exact opposite. If the caster curse isn't like real, then I don't know what is. The good response from AGM responds with a 2K harmful. At least able to get revenge, makes it 3 bodies for himself in the round. As his 2v1 Valyn still has a fair amount of Astro Stars, so could possibly put up a smoke for himself to give it a little bit of a cover, or at least smoke on a boathouse to allow himself to enter. Very bit away from the Astro Wall, but he has to clutch smokes and concuss all available for him. The turret's not going to be a factor as he's inching his way onto the site. They don't see him yet, but once that drop comes in, they'll know exactly where he's at. Dark Ball's down, and Governor wins the fall.
I mean, I was going to say that is the strength of Complexity, is they're really good in retaking a site. At least for, history as far as like what their prior matches are. Squirtle squad though has really put a damper on that attempt, which almost feels like giving up a site is not necessarily the best thing for complexity to do at this point. They actually need to take these fights and contest. They need to gather their information, both the mid and short, if there's any players there, which right now there's absolutely nobody. A Squirtle squad, they want to just 5-man this up on me.
They're going to take themselves all the way up to match point here, says they want to take us home. They want to make sure that I have dinner on time. But considering how it's setting up, jcrueL denies that immediately. Right into harm puts himself into harm's way, I should say. As he continues forward with the option, a lot of work, and here comes retake from complexity. 2 all the way back up and onto heaven as 1 focuses down into door. They could just try to push it through trees. The Astra smokes will release them a little bit more vision along with the lockdown. But about complexity, no Heartless Reader left to respond to it either. So now Squirtle Squad are stuck in such a precarious position. We've been able to get 2, but they're just staying on site here, says they both get locked down. They're just going to die. They don't get off. No! They chose to commit. No! Ah, so unfortunate. Wait, Where did they get?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay.
I can understand the commitment that they had. Their band was actually doing so well, destroying bodies from the backside. Unfortunately, it just was not enough in that lockdown timer. Taking away, locks both of them on site there. And it was not enough time. I almost felt like the attempt to try and slow it down, hoping that there would just not be enough time. Like, if you saw the timer, they still needed a whole full second. And a second in Valorant can be forever. So now, Squirtle Squad, they're on a save. And they're gonna have to run into, well, I just like that right there, into the crosshairs of the big boy guns that complexity is rocking.
Som's looking rusted right now with that frenzy. He goes face to face with that Odin as if being all slowed down as he pop in through trees. Just looking to get the plant down at the lace, and they managed to do that. But now, with a 5v3 complexity, they are absolutely piss chilling. All they gotta do is peeking back and forth, and you can see you get these picks off. The man able to get one, actually quite nice. Puts a little bit 300 extra credits into his pocket. As all members of complexity focus up onto heaven, but they're all chilling, all off site, and it's just Ben left. We got the defuse, but maybe you can find a pick stick flick from Ben as the rest for himself as well, but cannot finish off that final kill.
That was just a let's run in, get the spike down, and see who else we can, kill in the meantime. And so they did. Textbook, easy, A, B, and C, let's go. So now, Squirtle Squad, they're still pretty happy. It's still 11-7, but looking a little bit hairy. They've now given 2 rounds to the side of complexity, so this one, pretty important to them. They do have 3 ultimates available that they can play with, so it's about placing that Cosmic Divide and making sure that they can use that to get that spike down and delay whatever attempt that complexity has. Oh, but it's jcrueL on the operator, finds first blood.
Right, peeking again through mid, the same sort of position of the Odin as well, gets a couple of tags. As an Odin all centered down into me main though. Saw him able to sneak his way in right past the Killjoy and Maul, and takes out the turret. So now it's up to AGM to stall for as long as he can. As here comes the divide as they cut off half the site for entering in. No, Sam wasn't ready. The vision was barely just not there as ohai takes him out. And it's 3-5 as Squirtle Squad is looking to commit to the site. But as they drop in, AGM is ready. You'll be able to get one. Shock Dart won't do a ton to at least tag him up, but he still has more than enough health to take off Governor's head. And Ben, yeah, he's just kind of stuck.
I mean, this is a complexity that has come alive right now. They are 4 rounds bringing this back. Do the math here as far as what that gap is widening, and there it is. We're seeing Squirtle Squad using their tac pause as they rightfully should, because even with the Cosmic Divide used, it didn't matter. Like, line of sight doesn't matter. We're gonna push through, and like you said, some was not even ready for that to just run into the face of a complexity player and immediately get blown up. And AGM sitting in the back of sight of Boathouse, again, Same thing. Manages to play it very patiently, gets those kills. Even with shock darts being thrown into his body, it doesn't even matter. He's just using it as a Tenz unit at this point. It's like a little bit relaxing. I got this. It's going to rock out. So now, if you're a Squirtle squad playing against the defense that is complexity here, what can you do? A lot still, really, but it's looking scary and concerning.
I don't know what I'm more scared of, Sova's Tenz unit to wake you up, or Jet's acupuncture to relax you. Both are absolutely terrifying possibilities, but with this short little time I'm taking my Squirtle squad, they're stuck in what I like to call as the ping pong economy.
Yeah.
A little bit of back and forth, right? They're able to only buy up every other round. And we've seen them do a lot better on the save, but considering the op is set up on a heaven this time, and the Odin as well, riding onto trees, east side might look to be the take, but with both Sky and Killjoy moving through mid.
They're gonna run into that alarm bot, which I don't necessarily think they care about so much, but I do like that they're having a bit of mid presence here as they're gonna push their way onto market. Unfortunately, though, it is brawk with that Thunderous Fury looking to do some tags here and does a lot of damage on the side of Squirtle squad.
Manages to get 2 tags, so they have to know exactly when the push is coming in. Jonah caught out at the back, was not ready for the clean lineup for AGM. As Harmful is fragging away, it's 2v2. They're all just checking in where they're coming in for a match to find a gun for themselves. Bobbing in out of the smoke, the spikes are not planted yet. As jcrueL way up top with that op. Odin and op, those big boy guns like we were talking about here, Sag. As the shotgun looks to delay, gets the pick. Oh, that was big. And it's just Governor left on the back side. Brawk saves. Honestly, no, not even saves it. Just so well on it.
Thanks.
That was, textbook retake from complexity again. Just overwhelming. That's I almost feel like is the hard part about taking over B site is if you try to rush through, which complexity does really well because they're playing their players in B, so you have to shut that down and requires a lot of manpower commitment on the side of Squirtle squad. You're not really having a post plant position of somebody just like holding up maybe either a market, either at A main or at B main or like B halls or something like that. Nothing. Everybody is sitting deep into sight, so when the rest of complexity rotate themselves over, they've already funneled them through the back, so it's all about just picking them while they're on site.
Have you noticed how Squirtle Squad, every time that they manage to get it onto the site, or like even on the saves, they somehow are getting more picks on complexity than they would in the actual gun run. So like there's them playing with no fear is genuinely helping out. But
Yeah.
a fantastic point like you mentioned about complexity, just being able to just rush down Squirtle Squad because they're just locking themselves into a corner, and these post plants though, because they're done on such a rush job, right? They don't have enough time to actually be able to set up for complexity to be able to respond to them because it's usually 10 seconds and then they're just gone.
Yeah, and with under a minute left, like complexity, they are playing this very deep, not allowing any of their members to get picked off. So market pretty open here, but ohai will understand that yes, there are gonna be bodies here. A lot of ultimates even being committed on either side as lockdown used, Hunter's Fury used to shut that down. But it is both sides, still trades too.
Yeah, AGM shut down all the way to the back of Boathouse. Now jcrueL love to alongside 3 people. Like you mentioned, this is where they wanted to skewer, and this is where they want to just pick them off while they're all onto the site. ohai gets another though. The op still in play. jcrueL could go huge here. All he needs is just one set. Like he sees bad and B mid. He knows somebody has to be there, but he doesn't want to pick them off. He doesn't want to peek that. There we go. The Seekers get with information. ohai is finally down. Knives are true. Oh, the Seekers do so much work. Jonah completely blinded. jcrueL has to stick this right now. He's running out of time. He's gonna do it. Sova right there
my
pops
God.
in. Governor wins it. jcrueL a bit off the mark.
I mean, that's kind of like what I touched up on earlier, right? The difference this time around is Ban was in the halls. So not everybody is funneled onto site, and that really threw complexity off. Because now, when you're jcrueL with the operator, you have to deal with that crossfire that Squirrel Squad created. Meanwhile, Astra's still sitting in the back, and you just hear that spike saying, "Defuse me, defuse me, defuse me." So your time is just like your pressure is on, and Squirrel Squad played that so well, and its complexity need to try to find a way to stay alive here. Otherwise, Squirrel Squad's taking the win.
It was so funny to watch, just like Slom's shadow just jumping back and forth, trying to survive up against the Odin, just running and rotating. But the fact that he manages to do so is definitely a big dub for him. Of the complexity now facing elimination, a Squirtle squad looking to be champs for the Nights Get Schooled event. 1 round away. Complexity not willing to give it over. No! Wow, Hartford just barely doesn't find the crosshair, so both Knights missing in 2 rounds in a row, though. Massive pickoff right over complexity. Getting a lot of information. Som left all the way at the side, but the alarm button not going to find him, would at least force 2 of the members of complexity to back off as they look towards A.
That was a whew and a half. For complexity. I mean, I love the idea. It's the execution just was not in their favor though. But as I'm talking, bodies be dropping.
Yeah, right through mid. That spike gone as well. Bash able to pick this up. He's popping it back and forth. He has to take out the Astra. He can't actually recover it. No, he thought he glazed over, but he knew popping into the smoke would be extremely dangerous. It's 3v1. As Squirtle Squad's econ isn't the best right now. Yep, he has the rest, but he's gonna save it for another rainy day.
A little bit concerning now that the gap is down to 2. If you're Squirtle Squad, you want to try and close this out. They do have lockdown available as well as a Raz, but their economy is where it becomes very questionable.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest things that's generally holding them back from them trying to go on a run, right? Because it's been so back and forth for them. Them not being able to gather or at least get any sort of 2 rounds leads is really allowing what is the comeback here for complexity on this defensive half. Like, they're able to get so many rounds here, and now with them like yet again on the save, they could take this to overtime.
And pretty easily that they can, and it just kind of comes down to playing this right on the side of complexity. Nice opening pick from jcrueL, and they're just gonna reset a bit as the rest of Squirtle Squad, they're gonna try and push through, which they have to. They do not have the guns to really contest this. As I say
they have
that,
to smoke out jcrueL though, as he's just all the way up top. A spike gets planted, he gets slowed down. It comes in for complexity, still a 4v4 between the 2, but that lockdown is going to do wonders right now for SS. They don't have the hunter ready to respond either, but a shot dart yet again from brawk. That's so huge.
Wow.
And as he drops in, takes out the lockdown as well. This Odin Gaming is coming up massively as they're sticking the defuse. It's just so clean, man. Complexity again and again with these big boy guns here, Sag. Keep showing up.
yeah, and that again, complexity on this retake very much organized. Their IGL just letting, I believe it's Valyn say, like letting them know, hey, we push through together. Lockdown is being used. It don't matter. Because we have the better guns. They had, what, 1 hero rifle on the side of Van with that Vandal? Maybe picked up another because, you know, that early pick, yeah, that's a donated gun. But they still had that manpower coming in from top. Nothing else was used by Squirtle Squad to be able to defend that spike other than the lockdown. And they just got overwhelmed and got pushed through sight and lost all of those gun battles as well.
Both Astro Walls are up right now as well for the complexity and Squirtle Squad. So those have been actually pretty crucial in exerting both complexities and S's control on a site in terms of the peak they decides to take and how they set it up. They've been right in through the back of the site, usually on A. We're seeing Squirtle Squad try to just cut off complexity, but yet again they're doing the same similar mid push we've seen out of them in the last couple rounds, it likely trigger the alarm bot. I think if they're able to find a pick here, it could be really big. Instead, they're slow
Spike
inch
drop.
themselves over to A.
I almost feel like this is going to be the battle site of choice given the positioning that all of Squirtle Squad is doing right now. Yes, they're all split up, but it's all to control the rotation and to take over a site here. But it's
Oh.
brawk buying that first blood.
30 seconds left.
The spike drop as well, though, so they know exactly what they're pushing in from the catch. Ohai on the return, and they're looking back through spawn. jcrueL at the side. Can possibly find the sees the gun. Hailed Sam with a huge
Oh my
pick
God.
and gets a 3K. That is Odin down and off down right now. Squirtle Squad with a spike down as well. Right onto the A site. This is such a huge round. Sam comes up massive for Squirtle Squad, and this could be exactly what they need to take them all the way to the end. SS looking to be the winners of the nights. There's the res. It's 4v1. It is all up to AGM, but he can do no more.